Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg for bilateral talks. This happened on the sidelines of the NATO summit in Lithuania's capital, Vilnius. On Tuesday, NATO leaders said that Ukraine should be able to join the military alliance at some point in the future. However, they did not offer an immediate invitation of any kind of timeline for the same. NATO leaders have criticized China for threatening Taiwan and deepening ties with Russia. NATO's 31 members issued a joint communique. It accused China of opaquely building up its military power and creating strategic dependency to enhance its influence. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg also said that China's nuclear modernization is unprecedented in speed but has no transparency. Taiwan has accused China of staging a large-scale military drill near the island. These drills involve fighter jets, bombers and warships. Taiwan's defense ministry claims that it detected 32 Chinese Air Force planes entering the island's air defense identification zone. In recent years, China has tried several times to build up pressure on Taiwan's government. North Korea has fired a ballistic missile off its east coast. This is according to South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff. Pyongyang's previous missile launch happened barely a month ago. The latest one is North Korea's 12th missile launch this year. Japan has condemned North Korea's move. A Japanese government spokesperson has said that the missile launch threatens peace and stability in the region. Former US President Donald Trump has asked for his trial on the illegal possession of classified documents to be postponed until after the 2024 presidential election. Trump's lawyers said that the proposed trial date of December 11th would not give them sufficient time to prepare. The team also said that they are facing challenges in finding an impartial jury due to the election. Last month, Trump pleaded not guilty to 37 counts during an arraignment in Miami. Protests continue in Israel against the government's Judicial Overhaul plan. Thousands of protesters took to the country's main airport and major highways. Around 1,000 police officials were deployed at the Ben Gurion airport located outside Tel Aviv. Protests have flared up as the controversial Judicial Overhaul plan has survived the first vote in Israel's parliament, the Knesset. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi received a red carpet welcome from his Kenyan counterpart William Ruto. Raisi is currently on a three-nation tour through Africa. Raisi will visit Uganda and Zimbabwe after Kenya. His trip to Africa is the first by an Iranian president in more than a decade. During a press briefing, Raisi said that he wants to boost commercial ties with African countries. Saudi Arabia has signed ASEAN'S Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. With this, it has become the 51st country to do so. The signing ceremony was held on the sidelines of the annual gathering of ASEAN foreign ministers in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. The signing was done by Saudi Arabia's Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan. It comes ahead of the ASEAN Regional Forum. Myanmar's Supreme Court heard an appeal by the country's former leader Aung San Suu Kyi. The 78-year-old leader faces a series of convictions ranging from election fraud to corruption. She seeks to reduce her 33 years of jail time. Her representatives made arguments over her conviction for the breach of the Official Secrets Act. Aung San Suu Kyi and her government were ousted in a military coup in February 2021. Thailand's Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-Ocha has said that he is leaving politics. This announcement comes after his political party finished fifth in the general election that happened in May. The party got only 36 seats in the 500-member House of Representatives. Prayuth Chan-Ocha served as Prime Minister for almost 9 years. He seized power in a military coup in 2014. At least 6 people have been killed in a helicopter crash in Nepal. the helicopter crashed in the Liku area located near Nepal's capital, Kathmandu. The victims include 5 Mexican nationals. The helicopter was operated by Manang Air, an agency that ferries tourists. The cause of the crash is not yet known. Moving on to climate news, many Americans searched for ways to stay cool as extreme heat gripped several states. The U.S. state of Texas experienced scorching temperatures that reached nearly 40 degrees Celsius. Some residents sought refuge from the heat by cooling off at a water splash area. New footage showed a swollen Connecticut River following a deluge of rain. The Connecticut River stretches to flood-hit areas in the U.S. like Massachusetts and Vermont. The National Weather Service has reported the river could hit flood stage on Tuesday. A wildfire has consumed more than 4,000 hectares of a national park in the South American country of Bolivia. Visuals show plumes of smoke coming out of the Otuquis National Park. Authorities later said that the fire entered a wet area in the park, which has lowered its intensity. The water levels of the Yamuna River in India's Delhi has breached the danger mark due to heavy rainfall. This has led to concerns about flooding in the region. Schools in New Delhi have been closed after heavy rains lashed the national capital over the weekend. In the northern states of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, officials have warned people against outdoor activities unless necessary. One more African cheetah has died in the Kuno National Park in the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. Officials say that the death was due to suspected fighting amongst the cheetahs. The male big cat, Tejas, was brought to the park from South Africa in February this year. His death marks the 7th fatality among cheetahs in 4 months. Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg joined a demonstration outside the European Union Parliament on Tuesday. This was to call on lawmakers to back a flagship nature restoration law. The European Parliament will vote on it today. The law would set legally binding targets to restore degraded ecosystems throughout the continent. Greenpeace activists displayed a banner in Spain's central Madrid region. This was to raise awareness on climate change ahead of the next general election. Madrid is battling extreme temperatures brought by the second heat wave of the year. The heat wave is expected to last through Wednesday, with temperatures surpassing 40 degrees Celsius. Scientists say they've found evidence that the Earth has entered a new geological era known as the Anthropocene era. They presented evidence of the shift from a lake in Canada's Ontario. Scientists believe that the evidence can help pinpoint the start date of the new era. Fast fashion giant Zara is pledging to get greener. It says that by 2030, all of the company's garments will have a reduced impact on the environment. The retailer says about 40% of its clothes will come from recycled fibers. The rest of them will be gathered from sustainable sources. The fast fashion industry has been under fire for the mountains of waste it generates. India's central bank has called on more banks to take part in the digital currency pilot program. Last year, the Reserve Bank of India began trials using its central bank digital currency called e-rupees. Currently, large banks including ICICI Bank, Yes Bank and HDFC Bank are among those participating in the pilot project. Now, the RBI has asked smaller banks to either tie up with fintech firms or develop their systems to start CBDC pilots this year. Australia's Treasurer Jim Chalmers has said that the cabinet will soon decide on the next governor of the country's central bank. Meanwhile, local media reports have said that the decision could be reached as soon as this week. The Reserve Bank of Australia's present governor, Philip Lowe, came under fire over his policy messaging during the COVID-19 pandemic. He had earlier said that rate hikes were not expected until at least 2024. However, the RBA has raised its rates 12 times since then. Reports say semiconductor company ARM is in talks to bring in chipmaker Nvidia as an anchor investor. An anchor investor is a firm or an institution that purchases a significant portion of a company's shares before its initial public offering. Reports say ARM is looking to file for a US IPO as soon as this September. Financial firm JP Morgan is planning to lay off 63 employees in the US state of New Jersey. The job cuts will take place in September. The bank has said that it's working to redeploy the affected staff. Last month, the US lender cut nearly 40 investment banking jobs. Reports say Walt Disney is exploring strategic options for its Indian business. Its India business comprises of Disney Plus Hotstar, its streaming service, and Star India. Star India encompasses dozens of TV channels and has a stake in a movie production company. Disney's options include a joint venture or even a sale. Reports say that it's spoken to at least one bank about ways to help the India business grow. Bankrupt retailer Bed Bath & Beyond's Bye Bye Baby chain is set to shutter. The Bye Bye Baby chain is a vertical of the home goods retailer that sells items for infants and young children. This comes after a last-ditch effort to save the chain fell apart. Brand management firm Go Global Retail was eager to buy the baby chain. However, both parties couldn't reach an agreement on the valuation. India-based Godrej Aerospace is in talks to build aircraft parts from plane makers Airbus and Boeing. This comes as jet orders from Indian Airlines reach a record high. India has been pushing for the local manufacturing and sourcing of components for aerospace and defense. Meanwhile, companies like Airbus and Boeing have recently committed to more indigenous investment. Tech giant Microsoft has cleared a major hurdle in its plan to buy video game maker Activision Blizzard. The $69 billion purchase has received a much-awaited thumbs up from the US. Meanwhile, a British regulator has also suggested it could reconsider after having opposed the deal earlier. If this goes through, it'll be the biggest ever deal for Microsoft. Indian software services provider Wipro is planning to invest $1 billion in artificial intelligence. The investment will focus on the expansion of AI and analytics solutions. Wipro will also develop a new research and development platform. This is just a week after rival TCS said it's planning to train 25,000 engineers on Microsoft's AI offering. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development has said that 27% of its workers could lose their jobs to artificial intelligence in the coming years. The OECD is a 38-member bloc spanning mostly wealthy nations and some emerging economies. It works on stimulating economic progress and world trade. The organization added that there is presently little evidence of AI replacing human jobs because the technology is in its early stages. Moving to sports, in cricket, the Indian Premier League chairperson Arun Dhumal has said that India will not be travelling to Pakistan for the Asia Cup tournament. The two matches between India and Pakistan will take place in Sri Lanka. In case both the countries reach the finals, the third match will also take place in Sri Lanka. Earlier, Pakistan Sports Minister reportedly said that unless India comes to Pakistan for the Asia Cup, Pakistan won't travel to India for the ODI World Cup. The Marylebone Cricket Club has suggested limiting men's bilateral ODI cricket series following the 2027 ICC Cricket World Cup. The famed club is questioning the value of the format that the format adds to an already jam-packed calendar. The suggestion was finalized when MCC's World Cricket Committee met on the sidelines of the recent Ashes Test at Lord's. MCC's 13-member committee is hopeful that a scarcity of ODI cricket would increase the sport's quality. Officials of the Pakistan Cricket Board and the Board of Control for Cricket in India held 2 rounds of talks in South Africa's city of Durban on Tuesday. The talks took place on the sidelines of the ICC executive meeting. Officials from both the countries agreed to hold further talks to resume bilateral cricketing ties. The UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese shared a light-hearted moment when they met on the sidelines of the NATO summit. Albanese handed Sunak a printout displaying the current score in the Ashes Test series. He then showed Sunak a photo capturing the controversial stumping incident involving Johnny Bairstow during the Ashes second test. In response to Albanese's gesture, Sunak pulled out a photo of batsmen Mark Wood and Chris Woakes. The 2 English batsmen played a crucial role in England's dramatic victory over Australia just a few days ago during the 3rd test. Manchester United are edging closer to an agreement for Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana after more talks between the clubs. Discussions over a compromise on the fee have reportedly been very positive after Inter were unwilling to budge on their $55 million asking price. Sources close to the player believe that there is a desire from all parties to reach a resolution before Onana is due to report for Inter's pre-season on July 13th. Tottenham have completed the free transfer of Israeli winger Manor Solomon on a 5-year contract. Solomon spent last season on loan at Fulham from Shakhtar Donetsk. He scored 5 goals in 24 appearances in all competitions for the Cottagers. Spurs have also made loan deals for Dejan Kulusevski and Pedro Porro permanent this summer. Japanese forward Kazuyoshi Miura extends his contract with the Portuguese football club Oliveirense. The 56-year-old is the world's oldest professional football player. Miura started his football career in Brazil in the 1980s. The details of his contract extension are not yet known. Ukraine's Elina Svitolina beat world number 1 Iga Świątek at the Wimbledon quarterfinals. Svitolina, who ranks 76th in the world, has reached the semis for the 2nd time. Svitolina secured a spot at the semifinals after previously beating 4 Grand Slam champions in the tournament. She beat Venus Williams in the first round, Sofia Kenin in the 3rd, Victoria Azarenka in the 4th, and Świątek in the quarterfinals. The 2023 Commonwealth Weightlifting Championships hosted by India will begin today. Indian weightlifters are expected to bag several medals despite the absence of star lifters like Mirabai Chanu. 2-time champion Ajay Singh is eyeing a hat-trick of gold medals. India brought home 16 medals in the Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship in 2021. Daniel Ricciardo makes a surprise return to racing in Formula One. He will replace Nick de Vries at Red Bull's 2nd team, AlphaTauri, for the rest of the season. He'll be back in the game and will compete in the Hungarian Grand Prix beginning from July 23rd. The 34-year-old Australian was released by McLaren in 2022. 4-time Grand Slam tennis champion Naomi Osaka has given birth to a girl. The 25-year-old welcomed her first child in Los Angeles with rapper boyfriend Corday. The couple had announced the pregnancy in January this year. Actor Tom Holland has revealed why he chooses to keep his relationship with actor Zendaya private. He said, and I quote, "My relationship is the thing I keep most sacred. We both feel it's the healthiest way for us to move forward as a couple." Holland met Zendaya in 2016 during her audition for Marvel's Spider-Man film. Actor Emily Blunt has revealed that she's taking a break from her acting career to spend more time with her children. Blunt has 2 daughters, 9-year-old Hazel and 7-year-old Violet, with actor John Krasinski. She said that there's a great emotional cost attached to long assignments. Blunt stars in the upcoming Christopher Nolan film Oppenheimer. One Tree Hill actor Bethany Joy Lenz has revealed that she was in a cult for a decade. Joylens added that there is a lot to tell and one day she will pen down her experiences. Without going into details, the actor said, and I quote, "This would be a really valuable experience to write about and the 10 years of recovery after that." American actor Kevin Costner has been ordered to pay more than $129,000 to his former wife in child support. This is more than double the proposed amount for the same. Costner and his former wife, Christine Baumgartner, who is also a handbag designer, had 3 children together. Costner is also required to pay $200,000 in attorney's fees. The sale of singer Taylor Swift's Eras concert tour tickets have been put on hold in France. Ticketmaster has said that fans will be posted with a new sale time as soon as possible. The move has not gone down well with Swifties. They have called for more communication about the details of the tickets. In November last year, a ticketing site crashed after millions of people tried to buy Eras tour tickets. Ticketmaster had to cancel the sale of tickets, citing extraordinarily high demand. Britney Spears' memoir called The Woman in Me will be released on October 24th this year. Spears shared a post on Instagram announcing the release date with the caption, "It's coming, my story, on my terms, at last." In June 2021, Spears testified that she felt her conservatorship was abusive. The conservatorship was ultimately terminated. Singer Kevin Jonas' wife, Danielle Jonas, has revealed that she was asked to join the Real Housewives of New Jersey. However, she turned down the opportunity. Danielle Jonas joked, "I think I would die, they would kill me." Kevin Jonas jokingly added, "It's like bringing the lamb to the slaughter over there." K-pop girl group G-Idol are all set to release their first ever English soundtrack called I Do. The song will be released on July 14th. I Do will be G-Idol's first release with Asian-focused American music company 88 Rising. American chef Kristen Kish will be the new host of reality TV show Top Chef. Kish will replace Padma Lakshmi. Kish won Top Chef Season 10 and she's frequently appeared on the show as a guest judge.